Welcome, everyone. We are so glad you're joining us for our Winter Wonderland experience today. And I'm going to hand it over to Shari's Bakery, where we're going to do some gingerbread decorating at Shari's Bakery this morning. Gauss, it's all yours.
Hi, okay. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kaylee, and this is Marissa.
Hi.
And we are the owners here at Shari's Bakery.
Awesome. So what are we going to be doing today?
Gingerbread cookies. We have some fun shapes. We have some like gingerbread little boy shapes, some Christmas trees, a little Christmas house, and a snowflake. And we have a few different ways that we decorate these to kind of show you guys. So we'll just start with a really basic, we'll do a gingerbread boy and girl really quick. So what we're using today is royal icing, which is the kind of icing that hardens. We're just going to do little sleeves on both of them. Little pants on the boy and a skirt on the girl. And then, hang on one second.
Got to unclog the icing tip.
Some little green buttons. Oh, I did not make any black. A smile. And on the girl, we're going to do a little bow. And we're going to do some white eyes. We normally do black eyes, but I forgot black.
Okay, you do the gray dots if you want.
Okay, gray. All right, so those are some really basic gingerbread boys and girls.
Wow, that was fast.
We decorate a lot of them.
So how many of those can you do in a day?
Oh, well, yesterday we did about 15 dozen in, I would say 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah,
because I mean, multiple people are working on them.
Yeah,
but we can kind of tag team on
an
it.
assembly line. Like someone will do all the white, like the sleeves and the pants on them, and then someone will go through and get all the green buttons on them. So we definitely kind of tag team, make an assembly line, and we can get a lot done in a little bit of time.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
So that's a really basic boy and girl. Another design that you can do with the same cutout, if you turn it upside down, we use it as a reindeer face.
Oh.
Yeah. So let me show you that one really quick. I did not make any black.
Jimmy, go grab one.
Go see if they have black. So we're gonna just kind of outline his face. Give him some antlers.
Can you tell us what?
Oh, Cheri, we lost you mid-question. Hang on just a second. We're having some.
Is the kind of frosting that stays soft that you usually find on cake.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Royal icing is the kind that hardens.
Cheri?
Yes.
We lost sound for just a second. It froze for a second. So we lost all of the description of the types of icing. So if you could just start from there, that would be great.
Sure.
That'd be good. Okay, so this is royal icing. Buttercream icing is what you generally find on cakes and cupcakes. It stays soft. Royal icing is usually what you find on cutout cookies. It will harden. It does take longer to dry. It takes about a day to dry, but it will harden so that you're able to kind of stack them.
We do have a question, and this was from Mrs. Dunn's third grade class at Kelly Elementary. How did you get your training? And this might be really good information. I know it came from a third grade class, but we have 2 high school classes online with us as well that are culinary arts students and pastry students. So where did your training start? And if you would tell students where to go next, what path would you advise them to become pastry artists, I should say?
We both, me and Marissa, we have kind of different backgrounds, but we clearly ended up at the same place. I went to pastry school right out of high school. I went to a Cordon Bleu pastry school up in Chicago. I did that for a year. Part of the program was you have to do an externship. And I came back home to do my externship, and I did it here at Sheri's Bakery. I was a cake decorator. And then after that, she hired me on as a full-time cake decorator. And I was that for a lot of years, and I just kind of worked my way up from cake decorator to lead cake decorator. Then I was a bakery manager for a while, and now I'm the owner.
Mine is very different. Out of high school, I went to KU. I just, I didn't really have a whole lot of interest in this until years later. When I moved to Wichita, I just was really interested in bakeries and working in a bakery. I applied here, I was hired, and I learned everything that I know here.
Yeah.
So, and same, kind of very similar to Kaylee, I just kind of worked my way up from there. But very different backgrounds in that sense.
Yeah.
I just trained on the job.
Yeah. But in this industry, most of what you're going to learn is on the job. Like, I mean, even though I went to school, there was a lot of stuff that was, once you're in a bakery, you're learning their like specific style or designs and how they do things. So on the job training was really important. And that's where you get, I mean, doing it day in and day out, that's where you develop your skills at.
So what are we doing now?
So sorry, I'm making a little Christmas house. I'm just adding a little wreath and some little decorative dots on the white. So that's just a cute, simple little Christmas house that we do as well.
That's something that seems pretty easy. Is it hard, like, to keep your hands steady?
So sometimes yes, especially for somebody like a beginner. Generally, when I'm holding a piping bag, I'm a right-handed person, so I hold the bag in my right hand, and then I guide it with my left hand. So that's the best way that I could tell somebody who's starting out to do it with. Usually, this is the hand that I use to squeeze. This is the hand that I use to guide where I want my bag to go.
Okay. And then I noticed that you twist it.
Yes, because if you don't twist it, it will explode at the top and you have a big mess.
Okay.
So when you keep it nice and tight, you have, it's easier to squeeze because you have all of that icing in your hand and you can just kind of squeeze it down. So yeah, and also with royal icing dries out also. So it is important to keep those tops of them kind of twisted and closed up, because the more open they are, the more it's going to dry out and it's going to flake and you're going to have crumbs and they can get in your icing.
And air? What about air?
You do get air bubbles. So that's another thing you have to be careful about, is you want to try not to have any air bubbles. Usually when we're filling a bag, we'll squeeze some of it out to get any excess air bubbles out of the tip.
Okay.
So do you want to do that one?
Sure. All right, and these are our snowflakes. Just gonna do it. We'll do 2 different designs on them.
So do you do the same where you hold it with your right and you're guiding with your?
Yep.
Okay. And see, I noticed that last part you recovered very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little air bubble.
Yeah, that was
happens.
an air bubble. Usually an air bubble will cause like a little break in your line, which usually you can just go back and fix it.
I'm going to check in with some of our classes. Miss Foster, hopefully your sound has been fixed. Do your students have any questions or comments about pastry decorating to join us?
What did you say?
I was just going to say I'm going to check in with one of our classes, and Miss Foster was having a little bit of problem with sound. Do any of your students have any questions? Let me pop you over there real quickly. And make sure you come off the mic for your question. You're still muted, so make sure you unmute that mic. And this is Miss Foster's class, I believe, from North High. Am I right that it's North High? You can shake your head. So you're still muted? You got it unmuted? You're still muted. It should be at the top of your screen, honey. Do you see it? The mic button. Oh, Ms. Foster, can you help? He was still muted. Can you get him unmute and you guys can ask your question? Thank you to Artie's for being patient. Let me put the cooking back up and we'll get Ms. Foster's class in just a moment. The question that they were wondering, oh, you want to try, here we are again. Give us just one more second. Oh, there's the snowflakes done. Let's try
We
one
added
more
sugar
time.
to them.
Yeah,
It
we
gives it
added
like a pretty little
snowy look,
snowy, sparkly
little
look.
frosty look.
While we were waiting for Mrs. Foster, what they did was they took the cookies
Mhm.
and they just have a bowl of sugar and they just kind of dipped them in. Hold on, let me send that live to the bowl of sugar right there. And then just so nicely, where'd they go?
There they are.
Put them on the plate.
So I have the question in writing from Ms. Foster's class since we have a little bit of problems with their mics, and they wanted to know, we heard that it was royal icing. Do you have a specific royal icing recipe that you like? Because there are, if you search that, there are so many.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah, we definitely have a very specific formula. Here at the bakery, we weigh everything instead of like measuring with like a measuring cup or whatever. We do everything by pounds.
Which is much more accurate when it comes to cooking and baking.
Yes, so we know our batch of frosting is going to be the same every single time. So yes, we do have a very specific formula that we use. It takes a lot of refining and getting it to where it's just.
There was a lot of testing to get to this, to get to the consistency, the bite of the cookie that we wanted, the bite of the icing that we wanted. There was a lot of testing before we got to where we wanted it at.
And sometimes when you are getting your like ingredients in, there was sometimes like products will change. Like there was a few years ago, an ingredient we used, we weren't able to get it in anymore. So we had to go through a whole bunch of testing again to like refigure it out. So hopefully when everything stays the same, it makes it consistent. But every once in a while, and it could just be because of that, maybe that ingredient company went out of business or something like that. And then you just have to like refigure out like what to do. So,
and our royal icing does consist of mainly powdered sugar and meringue powder and water. We do have a few extra things in there to help stabilize it and whatnot.
Sure.
But that's really the main ingredients of a royal icing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We're going to go back to Ms. Foster's class. They are, oops, I'm sorry, Ms. Philbreck. We're going to go back to Ms. Foster's class. Wave, Ms. Foster's class. Are they going to wave? There we go. Thank you. They have another question. We have a little bit of sound with them, but they're texting me their questions. Here, he's back. Can you take that? And they have a question about how do you make dark colored icing? Because you hear all the time that the more pigment you add, it can be bitter. Do you have a secret of making your darker colors? Because they are a pastry and culinary class, and that's their question.
We use gel colors to dye all of our icings. We use the same gel colors in our royal icing as we do our buttercream. And they just, the darker ones you do have to add more of, but we definitely, the ones that we use a good quality one, so we don't notice a flavor change too much when we do that. So, but yeah, it's just adding the color until you get the color you want.
So I know this is a decorating thing, and I bet my friends there, Ms. Philbrick and Ms. Tiffany, does it smell really great? And students are wanting to know. You also obviously make the gingerbread cookies. Do you have a special way to do that? Maybe ones that are eaten? Is there a different way for if you decorate them? But I bet it smells delicious. And so do you have any tips about your cookie recipe on top of your decorating?
Yeah, we do, with our gingerbread formula, we do have, there is different gingerbread recipes that like for what you would want for like a soft cookie versus what you would use to like build like a gingerbread house or something like that. Ours is a like soft gingerbread dough. We definitely chill it before we roll it out just so we can get, just so it kind of firms up some and we get nice clean cuts when we are cutting out our boys and girls or houses and whatnot. So, but yes, we always look, because gingerbread is just a seasonal item for us. So we very much look forward to that like first batch of the season and the whole bakery smells like gingerbread. And there's definitely a few that get eaten that day.
Yes, we always hand them out to everybody the first day that we bake gingerbread because it's so good. And it just smells like Christmas.
Yeah, no, it's always exciting that first batch that goes in the oven. Yeah. It's just, oh, it smells so good.
Okay, what kind of cookies do you have over here that you're...
So we had some extra, these are just our basic sugar cookies. which we kind of wanted to show you guys these as well because there's some fun techniques that you can use with royal icing that you can't with buttercream icing. So what I have here, this is just royal icing. We add water to it so that we can spread it on the cookie easier with a spatula. So, because this is really how we ice our cookies here.
Yeah, and you notice we keep the bowls covered up until we're using them, and that's because your royal icing will like start to dry out.
And we are sorry, we're having just a little bit of technical difficulty. We'll be back in just a second. Ms. Foster or Ms. Krista, if you have any questions from your students, we could ask those. Oh, I hear the sound back. There we go. Let's see if it starts again. There we go. We are back. Thank you so much about that. We apologize for the little bit of a, Ms. Philbrick, we had just a little bit of a delay that happened. So, but we're back.
And then with this, so with everything being a little bit runnier on there, it's sinking down into it. It's not sticking up off of the cookie. And I'm going to take a toothpick and I'm just going to run some lines through it, and it makes a really pretty design on top. And then I'm going to add, now this gray that I'm going to do for, because this little Christmas ornament I'm going to do for the hook is a thicker icing.
So, and since she did that all wet on top of each other, when it dries, it's all like totally smooth. So this is like the same cookie but dry. So it's like totally flush.
Can you do another cookie for us? Because it kind of cut out on that one. So just to kind of show.
The same one?
The same one or a different one, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But using that same technique.
Sure.
For you. So she smooths it out. Now I've seen them to where they outline them first and then fill it. Would you call that? I think it's called flooding.
Yes, it's a flooding technique, which we do here as well. But we've trained ourselves. There are certain designs that you have to do a flooding technique that you just can't ice on. But we've definitely trained ourselves to we call it base icing, to base ice the cookie on with a spatula, because cleanly enough like this, it saves so much time. Yeah. So.
Ms. Philbrick, we lost it again. So sorry about the technical difficulties this morning. Hopefully, maybe they realize we're also hungry and it's helping us be less hungry by drifting out. So let's try one more time. Thank you for your patience, everyone. A great question is coming up is how many gingerbread cookies do you probably make in a season?
Probably close to 100 dozen.
That's what I was going to say, about 100 dozen.
Gingerbread is super, super popular here. I'm just icing a stocking really quick and a Christmas tree really fast. And I want to show you how we top our stocking because that's a different tip and it gives a really cool design.
So while we wait, do we have any other questions, Hannah?
Yeah, they want to know, do you know the origins of the gingerbread cookie by chance? And how long do you think people have
been Christmas tree that we do
decorating them? I believe we're back again. Sorry, we lost you guys again for a little bit. People are asking, guys, it is definitely glitching this morning, and we apologize. Sometimes we do all we can to make the technology work, but sometimes things just don't work as well as we want to. So we thank you for your patience and appreciate your patience when it does glitch out a little bit. Another question is from start to finish, like making the gingerbread, cutting them all out, cooking them, and decorating them. How long does it take your team to do that process with one batch?
It doesn't normally go quite like that. But once you bake, because they take about 10 minutes to bake.
Right.
And then they have to cool, which is going to be, for them to be completely cool, at least an hour probably.
Right.
So I don't know how long it takes to make the...
Mixing the dough is probably, which of course we make stuff in larger batches.
Mm-hmm.
So mixing the dough is probably, like from scaling out ingredients to done on the mixer is probably 45 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And then it's not like one person is doing these cookies from start to finish. We have a team of bakers. So there's one girl, Sarah, is probably going to be the one mixing the dough. And then we have another baker, Sierra, she's going to be the one that's like rolling it and cutting it out and baking them off. And then once it gets done in production with our bakers, that's when it moves up to the cookie department with our cookie decorators. So it's not like one single person is doing gingerbread start to finish. We have a team of people that is getting it done through production.
Yes. I'm just icing a couple more trees to show you just a few more designs that we do here that are fun. I need to switch the tip on this one.
So they just want to know when you run out of icing, you just stop and make more, even if it's in the middle of the process? And we're out again. We so apologize. Let's see if we can get them back. 1 second. Oh, they are back, of course.
So those are just a couple more like fun, like Christmas.
And they're gone again. Miss Foster's class.
This is like one of my favorites.
My favorite. I think they're so cute.
Another really fun thing we do is marbling.
So Miss Philbrick at Shari's Bakery, we don't have a picture right now, so it'll be just a second when we're back. And audience, again, I am terribly sorry about the technology. Just not playing nice with us this morning. You would think they would be in the holiday spirit. Maybe it wants to save on sugar consumption, so it's not letting us do it. Miss Foster's class, let me put you guys over there. And if you can ask a question, I'll send you guys live real quick. Miss Foster's class, do you guys have a question for us? Hey, Miss Foster's class. No question? If you want to ask, you have to unmute your mic. It's at the top of your screen if you want to do that, sir. Or if you're just trying to fix sound, I'll put them back up. Let me go back to our picture and see if we have our picture. Oh, their mic is not working. So if you want to type here, if you have a question, just type and he can ask it from there. That would be fine. Between sound and mics, it's one of those mornings with technology. It's time to curl up with a good book and read, I think. Let's try one more time. I can definitely hear Shari's Bakery. We're just not getting a visual right now. Give me just a second. I really appreciate your questions. They can hear us, so if you have questions, I can get them back up. People are loving the good work. You guys are making them hungry. That's the sign I'm seeing. They're impressed with how many cookies are made in one time. So all sorts of amazing things. And, oh, yay, I'm just in time. We're back live. So I have your picture back.
Perfect. So sorry about that.
Yeah, so I just took a little bit. So I know you guys started in high school. Is there a side to cookie baking since you own a business that gets exhausting? Like, I don't make cookies every day, all day long. And do you ever get to a point where like, I cannot look at another cookie today? And if that happens, how do you still have joy? Because my dozen cookies need to be as good as the first dozen. So how do you overcome kind of the business side after 100,000 cookies? How do you keep going when there's so many cookies?
I mean, we don't have a choice. We have to keep going.
Right.
I think, yeah, it's exhausting. We get tired.
Yeah.
I think,
and this is the time of year that it is. It's
not like this throughout the whole year. It's the quantity that we're doing in the month of December, not the same quantity that we're doing in January.
I mean, our team of decorators could easily be doing close to 200 dozen a day, 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of cookies. But luckily we have a really great team here that jumps in and they all get done.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to ask one. I wanted
to show you the marbling effect that they did on the tree.
Very cool. And I'm going to put Miss Foster's class up there just one more moment. And they're having issues with sound, but I'm going to relay their question. Miss Foster's class, hang on just a second. Wave to us, Miss Foster's class. Shari's Bakery, Miss Foster's class has a direct question for you. They have several students if they want to know if you're hiring. They're culinary students and they're in the pastry class. And if you're hiring, how do they go through that process? So a little bit more about the business side of gingerbread baking.
Typically when we hire, we have in-person applications that you come in and you fill out an application, and then you usually sit down and talk to Marissa and I. As far as if we're hiring right now,
we're not really hiring right now, but we always take applications, and maybe when a position becomes open,
then we
revisit those.
Yes. So, but I would say for students coming in that do want to fill out an application here or any other business, come ready to talk to people and ready to interview, because I do think it's important to come in prepared for an interview when you drop off that application. So, look the part and be ready to do it.
So that is great to know. And Ms. Foster's class, I know you're having problems with sound. I'll relay that to you back a little bit. I think a great way to end this too is they want to know, what is the biggest cookie Shari's Bakery has ever made, or if the biggest gingerbread house have you ever made?
Ooh. Biggest cookie.
I don't know that we've ever. I mean, we have what we call card cookies. Those are a 3x5 cookie, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
We don't really do massively huge cookies with this kind of icing.
We do have 12-inch chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, we have chocolate chip cookie cakes.
Birthdays,
that we've done
and stuff. So as far as gingerbread houses, we don't do them anymore. Years and years ago we've did them. And I remember one year we did a big one for one of the country clubs here in town.
Oh yeah.
That it was big, and we had a ton of, we had to scale it all up and make all the templates, and it was a huge project.
It was it was a big one.
So but we just don't do gingerbread houses here anymore, just because they're so time consuming with everything else we got going on. So.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. I think we have a couple hundred people watching, and I believe they are all hungry now. And Miss Foster and Miss Krista's class, I appreciate you guys asking some questions, living in the culinary world, just practicing at school a little bit different view. And we so appreciate your time during this busy, busy season of sharing your gingerbread decorating with us, ladies. Just thank you for being part of our adventure for our students across Kansas.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course, we have fun doing it.
It was fun.
So yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.